Good evening, everybody, and many apologies there. I had intended to be live at 10 o'clock, and obviously I was really weary from my travels, and so I didn't quite make it, and I fell asleep. And strangely enough, as I fell asleep, when I woke up, I thought it was a lot later than it is, because of course my clock here in my lounge, because I was away, I haven't changed the hour. Hi Angela, and Angela, I believe I've got a thank you to you, because while I was away, I received this lovely card from you, so thank you very much. That was a card from you and Michelle, wishing me well. Sorry to say that I was under the weather. Delighted to tell you now that I am recovered. The reason I was just explaining, the reason I wasn't live at 10 o'clock tonight was because I was fast asleep in the chair. So I apologise. I have been travelling today. I have just done a week with the grandchildren. Hi Tegan. Hi Marianne. Everybody coming in. Yes, so I was sitting in my chair and I set my alarm because I had a feeling I was going to fall asleep, because I've had a very, busy week. Hi, Margaret. And so I fell asleep in the chair, and just saying, as I woke up, it looked like it was 20 past 11, but of course, while I was away, the hour changed and my clock on the wall hadn't changed. So I was thinking 20 past 11, it's a bit late to live stream now, but of course it was only 20 past 10. So just got myself ready, and here I am. Yes, I have rested up. I have had a week on the go with the grandchildren, been away with the family in Devon. We've been on a caravan holiday, had a lovely time. And I'm delighted to say that my leg seems to be free of pain now. When I went away on Monday. My daughter picked me up from Southampton because she didn't want me to travel on public transport while my leg was still poorly. But actually, I've managed to rest up. What happened? She picked me up from Southampton, so I only had to get myself across the water and not travel on public transport. And I was saying earlier, she's got a 7-seater car, so she's got 3 seats in the back that face 2 seats, and she's got a big space in between. So what we did, we put Lilac Lil, my shopping trolley, we tipped her on her side in the back of the car. Thank you, Angela. In the back of the car, and I took a pillow and I put that on top of Lilac Lil, and I was able to rest my legs up while we travelled to Devon. And then while I was away, I managed to sort of prop my legs up. And not gadded about too much, done lots and lots of resting. And today I came home on public transport, and delighted to say that actually, although my leg is still red, it's still got quite a bit of redness to it, the pain has all gone, which is brilliant, because it was something I wouldn't wish on my worst enemy. It really was very horrible, that cellulitis. So got to make sure I take much more care of myself if I can. The infection got in through a split on my heel, so I got to make sure that I do loads and loads of moisturizing and making sure that I just try and keep the cracks away. It's something that happens to me in the winter a lot. Thank you Margaret. I have had a great time. We have done lots of things together. Some of the time I went out with the children. They have a caravan on a big caravan site in Devon, and there's lots of activities for them to do. And they were booked into swimming lessons and archery lessons and all these different things. Some of them I went and did and watched, and some of them I stayed behind so that I was able to make the meals while that, so that when they got back tired, there was a meal ready for them. So I just paced myself. My daughter was very good and made sure that I looked after me. Hi Mark. Hi everybody coming in. Yes, and so glad to be back. I am back for a short while, and then I'm gadding off again. but I wouldn't do it if I didn't feel better. Oh, and by the way, if I usually put the date on these so anybody on the replay comes in. So we are now on Sunday the 28th of October 2018. Yes, so yesterday we travelled back. What I had intended to do, originally my daughter said, would I be able to get myself back from Exmouth station, and I tried to find a train on public transport that was, I always book the advance fares. You know, they're very much reduced in fare if you book in advance, but unfortunately there were no advance fares showing for Friday, and of course they cost quite a lot if they're not on an advance fare. I have a senior rail card which helps a lot, and so no advance fares were showing, and they were showing strike action, so it looked like I might not get home on Friday. So what I did was I went back to London with the family, and then yesterday, no, not yesterday, today, wherever we are, whatever day it is. Oh, it's Sunday, isn't it? Sorry, I'm so confused. I'm tired. And I was thinking it was Monday because the next trip I've booked, I come back on a Monday again because I couldn't get advance fares on the weekend. But I am, you know, a bit sleepy. I just, probably what I'll do tonight, ringing telling me to wake up. So what I'll do is I'll go to bed when I finish the broadcast and sleep on. I won't set an alarm for the morning. I haven't got an earlier morning appointment. Hi, Carrie Ann. So I'll sleep on and just catch up with my sleep. But we have had a great time. I love spending time with the children, and you know, I tend not to do broadcasts then because it means that I can devote my time to the family. And you know, we have had a lovely time. We've had some lovely weather. Just turned a bit cold and a bit wet on Friday, but it didn't really spoil any of our enjoyment. The rain didn't last long. It was a bit cold, but it sort of, we didn't let it spoil it. Hi, Emma. Yes, so we've done quite a lot of knitting between. I haven't got the knitting here in front of me to show you. What I will do is I'll get that out and show you tomorrow. Between us, now I've taught my 3 granddaughters to knit. My daughter never learnt to knit very much. It seemed to skip her generation, but however, she's seen us knitting and she decided she wanted to join in. So she has done a bit. And what we've been doing is we've been knitting the little bobble hat or little hats that go on the smoothie bottles. I will bring them out in a next broadcast because the hats we were doing, they're part of the big knit. If any of you want to see what we've been up to, if you Google the big knit, basically what that is a lot of people all across the country knit little hats to go on the smoothie bottles, the smoothie drinks. Of course, they go in the chiller cabinets, they get cold, so they need little hats on. Oh no, basically what happens, they used to do it in the winter time. It used to be a wintertime thing, but I've noticed the next lot of hats are due in by next July. So we just fit them in as and when we can. And basically, they put them on the smoothie hats, and they sell those smoothie drinks for an extra 25p each, and all those 25p's get donated to Age UK to help the elderly. And I'm not classing myself in that category at the moment, although I do actually come into that category. And they help that funds go to helping the elderly. I think it's partly helping them to keep warm, but I know that it all goes to Age UK. And I just so love doing them. They're so very quick. People do all sorts of fascinating hats, really extravagant hats. What I do is I tend to do just bubble hats because they're quicker, and because no matter how fancy the hat, it still only gets 25p. Hi Kitty. So I tend to do lots of little bubble hats that are stripy or different colours, and my grandchildren have been actually making all the bubbles. They can make the bubbles faster than I can make the hats, but it's actually fascinating now. So on my way home, I have knitted some more hats, so I'm going to be telling them what colour hats I've done so they can make appropriate bubbles. So next time I see them, I can get the bubbles and put them on bubble hats. So we have made, I'll get them out on my next broadcast. As I say, I've only woke up just now. You know, they're down, my luggage is still, Lilac Lil is still packed with those things in. So I will get them out tomorrow or whenever I do my next broadcast and show you. Tegan's saying she likes the pumpkins. I've done some little pumpkins. My granddaughter, one of my granddaughters did pumpkins as well. Some of them, the children knit, but they've got 3 granddaughters and a grandson. All the granddaughters knit. But one of them not so keen, but she was very keen on the bubbles. So it was a real team effort. And so we had, and you know, hi Tracy, and you know, I want to make every hat different. So you will find that it's a whole variety of different hats. So I've made, I've made red hat, a red hat with white trim and white bobble. I've made a red and white stripy hat. I've made orange and brown hats. I've made all sorts. Each one is different, and so I will get them out and show you. And then, as I say, or as Tegan said there, I've very well, thank you Tracy, much better. Just apologising because I fell asleep in the chair and didn't wake up till 10:20 tonight, so just doing a rather late broadcast tonight, but much better, way better, and having had a week's holiday, even better still. When I got home, of course, my flat was quite cold because I switch all my heating and everything off while I'm away. And of course, the temperatures drop. But it didn't take that long for my flat. My flat warms up fairly quickly. And so it didn't take too long. I think that's what I did. I snuggled myself up in the chair. And just, you know, I could feel myself going to sleep and knew I wanted to broadcast. So set the alarm, but the alarm didn't really do a very good job. It did wake me up, but it woke me up after 10, so not so good. Yes, I did need it. And, you know, I'm listening to my body and trying to, you know, make sure I stay fit and well. You know, because I have lots of things to do, lots more live streaming to do. I've also I've got another quick trip away later in the week, and then I will be back. And next week I'm a finalist on the 8th. I'm a finalist in the Isle of Wight Local Heroes Award in the tourism category. You've been in a safari tent. Well, most of the time, actually, you see, we were in a caravan. And the caravan, these days, the caravans are so modern. And the caravan had central heating. Although we hardly needed it because most of the week was lovely. The sun was shining on the caravan. We had really good sunny weather. So most of the time, it was lovely. So just nice to have a break away with the children and, you know, just do some fun things. And so, you know, just I've enjoyed being with them very much. I mean, I enjoy being with them. I also enjoy, you know, all the stuff I do, you know, being a granny, but not full-time granny duty. I love my granny duty, but I love all the other stuff I do. Hi, Steve. So, you know, very important to get back on track. I am going to be seeing my son Tristan later this week. And when I do, I'm going to take these with me. Now, I have here, this is a prize that I won in a competition that came, these have come from America. And I had to pay the postage on them, but what I didn't know was I'd also have to pay the custom duty. So this was a prize I won free, but it's not been free. It's cost me a fair bit. And they are Snapchat glasses, but I'm not too sure how they work. And so I will be seeing Tristan later this week. And so I will be taking them with me and getting him to show me how they work, so that I know what to do. I'm sure they're quite fun, but as I say, I won them in a competition. I also won some beeswax in a competition. I've done well on competitions recently. Yes, they do look fun, but I thought rather than get them out and have a fiddle and I don't know what I'm doing, as I'm seeing Tristan, I'll take them with me. You know, so that's something to look forward to. So I've yes, I should be gadding off up north later on. But in the meantime, going to do some live streaming this week. Not quite sure what I'm going to live stream, but I'll find plenty to do. And then, as I say, next week I am a finalist in the Isle of Wight Local Heroes Awards, so that'll be a fun night out. Yes, Tracy, fortunately, I was just saying to everybody just now, the leg is still very red, but the pain has gone. When I went away on Monday with my daughter, we managed to prop it up in the car, and it was a bit painful on Monday. My daughter picked me up from Southampton because she didn't want me trying to wake me up now, even though I'm awake. Must put the alarm off. And so yes, so I was able to prop it up, and I've been very sensible this week, been resting on and off, and propped it up on cushions, and the pain has all gone now, fortunately. I would not wish that on my worst enemy. It was so painful, very, very painful. So, you know, I'm going to make sure that any time my feet look like they're going to crack, loads and loads of moisture cream and trying to stop the crack, because that's where it got in. The infection got in through a cracked heel. It's something that happens to me in the bad weather. I know a lot of people have the same issue, but I just got to be very careful. So I hope everybody's been having a good time while I've been away. And as I was saying, I had a lovely card when I got back. It was so sorry to hear you're under the weather, and it's from Angela and Michelle. I had so many well-wishers when I was poorly. It was absolutely lovely to see that so many people were there, you know, watching out and asking, you know, after me and making sure that I was well and on the mend. I had some visitors in hospital, lots and lots of lovely greetings. I noticed that another good friend of mine, she's in hospital now, so I don't know whether this is a, you know, what I hope I haven't started a trend. Not quite sure what's the matter with her, but I have sent her greetings as well and well wishes, because obviously, you know, not nice having to be in hospital. Actually, though, while I was in hospital, it was the best place for me. They originally they didn't want to take me into hospital, but bearing in mind I live on my own and I couldn't put my own weight on my leg because it was excruciatingly painful, and it was difficult even to go and answer the door to anybody, then they saw my point and then let me stay in. So you know, as I said, I had brilliant care, you know, so St Mary's can't be faulted on that one. They, you know, once I got them to admit me, it was great, and I was well looked after. You know, some of it was so painful I just didn't care. I just wanted them to make me well, and I was having intravenous antibiotics 4 times a day. That's how bad it was. And I'd wake up and there would be another drip in my arm, but I didn't care. I know it's doing me good. So anyway, yes, so much better, Tracy. Thank you. And everybody who sent their greetings or, you know, thought about me, really, really grateful for that. So just going back to Butterfly Whispers, which I haven't done for a while. You know, when I'm travelling, I tend not to take some of these big books with me because it makes my luggage heavy. So I try to, you know, cut down on my luggage. Although I end up with knitting books and things like that. I had a load of knitting with me. And as I say, we have had a lovely time, my grandchildren and I, doing knitting. And now I've done some pumpkin, and somebody's just ordered some pumpkins and some witches from me today. So my knitting needles will be going click, clack, click, clack, click, clack, completing that order very quickly. I might do a little bit of knitting before I go to bed to crack on with that. But, you know, it's quite nice because when I was poorly, I seemed to go right off the knitting. No, I won't, Tracy. I do need to learn to take things easy. But, you know, you can't. I can't stop completely. Hi, Lyndon. Lovely. We are international again tonight. Lyndon is right across the other side of the world, called Knitting World Time. Yes, so Lyndon is over in Australia. Lovely Facebook friend there. Lyndon, I'm just saying, I've just back from holiday. late on my broadcast because I fell asleep in the chair, but still and you know, I wasn't going to broadcast because the clock was saying 11:20 when I woke up, and of course what had happened last night, the hour changed and British summertime ended, so we went back to GMT time, and but my clock wasn't automatic, so it hadn't changed, and I woke up. That's okay, Lyndon. I woke up thinking that it was 11:20 at night and not to broadcast, and actually it was only 10:20, so I thought, it's be okay to broadcast now. So yes, so I'm going to sort of, you know, take things fairly easily and make sure I do look after myself. I'm very good at looking after everybody else, but not so good at looking after me. So let's go find the Butterfly Whispers, 28th of October. Let's see what Vanessa has to say for the 28th of October. Oh, it's a short one today. It says, I'm sure you know the story of the golden egg, but it bears repeating. A man finds a golden egg in the nest of his goose. To his delight, there is one there every day. The man became greedy the richer he became, so he thought he would get all the eggs at once and be done with it. So he cut the goose open and found nothing. Be grateful each day for what you have, otherwise you may find one day it's all gone. Live for today and we will be richer in so many ways. And so there we are. That's today's quote from Vanessa, from out of my Butterfly Whispers book. That's that lovely book that I read too. That was given to me by my hairdresser. She actually knows Vanessa, who wrote the book. One of the things I'm intending to do is actually write my own book. Night, Tracy. Catch you soon. I'm not going to be terribly long before I follow you, Tracy. Yes, so one of the things I'm intending to do is write my own book. I've been intending to do it for the last couple of years, been procrastinating on it. Hi, Louise. But I think it is actually time that I actually got on with it and, you know, stop procrastinating and try to get the book done. So that's a plan over the next couple of months, is to get my book written. Louise, I fell asleep, so the knitting needles didn't do much, but I will get on and click clack away, as I was saying, and complete your order. I shall get on. I should probably do a little bit before I go to bed, and I shall do some more tomorrow for you, Louise. So we'll message each other about how you're going to collect that knitting. No, not yet, but I will be. I'm going to do a bit in a minute. They won't take me very long at all. Hi, Carl. How lovely. Carl, have you been doing any more live streaming? Carl, who's just come into the broadcast, is one of the local councillors here on the local town councillors on the Isle of Wight, and he is now a live streamer. Great to see him live streaming. I gave him a little lesson and off he went, and so it's great to watch the live streams. I love watching other people's live streams. I like teaching other people to live stream. So yes, Carl, I'm a bit late on tonight because I fell asleep in the chair. Just explaining, I've been away on holiday. So county councillor. That's right. Sorry, I do get myself very confused, Carl. But I don't mind being corrected at all. So yes, so it's great to see more people embracing the technology and actually getting on and not being frightened of it, you know, because the live stream, there's so much power to the live stream, and it's, you know, it's great. As many of you know, you love watching the streams. I do. So I will be doing more around the island. I will be doing a quick not well though. Well, you mean you're not doing them well, or you're not well? You know, if you're not doing the thank you, Carl, but you know, Carl, if you mean you're not doing the live streams well, it all comes with practice. If you look back at videos I did 5 years ago, I was like a scared rabbit in the headlights. It's just practice. Just keep on doing it. Just keep on. But of course, you are in the 2% who've embraced the technology. You know, you are one of the early adopters. People are still way behind and not connecting on the live stream. So we are early adopters, and you know, it's great that You will, Carl. Practice makes perfect, or as near perfect as you could get. My dad said nobody's ever perfect, he used to say, but he would never give 10 out of 10 to anybody, because he said you could never be perfect, but you can get as near perfect as possible. And Carl, the fact that you've actually pushed a button and gone live, I've got a group that a Facebook group that I call Press the Damn Button, and it's all about encouraging people to go live. There we go. Yeah, well, it's just one of those things. Just do it. Feel the fear and do it anyway is what I say. Because, we can put off and we can, procrastinate on not doing it. But actually, if I'd have done that 5 years ago, none of you would be watching me now. And no, Louise, I've started, Louise, on the witches and the pumpkins, and they won't take me very long. So I shall do a bit more just before I go to bed, because I find it very relaxing. And then the rest I shall do tomorrow, if that's okay. And then I'll message you, because then we can sort out how you're going to collect them. Okay. So as I say, they won't take me very long at all. But I think it was 2 witches and 2 pumpkins you wanted, wasn't it? So that one, I shan't be long making those. And I'm really loving being back with the knitting. It's funny, while I was poorly, I didn't really fancy even doing my knitting, which I absolutely love. I don't find knitting a chore. I find it very relaxing and very therapeutic. But as I say, even while I was poorly, I didn't want to. I had my knitting with me, but I didn't want to pick it up and do it. But I've had a great time going back to it and doing it with the grandchildren. It's lovely to see them picking up that skill. Yes, but that's the whole point, Carl. The whole point is to ruffle the feathers, because no action happens otherwise. The ferries and the bridges need people's feathers ruffled. And it's, I do it to ruffle feathers, because no action happens if we don't do it. And it's so, so powerful. Can you make me a hat and a scarf? Is that for you personally, Louise? What we'll do is talk. Well, let's talk in the private chat, and you can tell me what you want there. But Carl, yes, I mean, I have ruffled feathers. I've certainly ruffled feathers on the Visit Isle of Wight front. People don't like it when you actually stand out there and tell the truth. But I think live stream is going to be one of the way to stop all the rubbish and get full transparency. It's what we need. There's a lot of things that are not transparent, and I do have issues over quite a lot of things on the island. Thanks, Louise. As you know, Carl, and I can't stand injustice, and I can't stand the big boys, using power over the little people. That really, it's not a fair game. And I do believe that live stream will straighten out more of it. And, so I will get out there if I see injustice, and I will say it on live stream. And I have started naming and shaming people, only if they deserve to be named and shamed. I had somebody recently who tried to shut me up on Twitter because he didn't like what I was saying. I wasn't saying anything out of that wasn't true. And so, I believe that people who are hiding behind all these other things, actually, sorry, but live stream's going to call you out, and you're going to have to be much more transparent, much more telling the truth, because there's a lot of it. Excellent, Carl. Well done, Carl. Welcome to my world. People see me. Somebody. Chair of Ride Business Association has tried to name and shame me on publicly. I won't have it. I am not saying anything that isn't true. I'm very careful about what I put out there. But when people have confirmed to me that injustice has gone on, when people who are, ex-councillors have confirmed to me naughty things, what shall I say, things that shouldn't happen have gone on. Hi, Brett. I will call them out. My dad, he is so funny. My dad, you're not with us anymore, but will be very proud of what I'm doing. He used to call me megaphone mouth, and I didn't like it. I told him off and I told him it was rude. Thank you, Louise. But do you know what? I think he saw into the future. I think he saw me live streaming, and so it is like megaphone mouth, isn't it? I will call out the injustices, and you know, people are not going to be able to hide anymore. You know, I don't call out people for doing, you know, it's only when injustices happen. It's things that shouldn't be hidden, and some of them try to hide them, and I think that the live stream is going to actually bring out a lot of that. So, you know, I have been a little voice. I am happy and proud, Tegan. That's right, absolutely. Well done, Carl. And you know, the more of us who stick together on that, and the more people we can teach to live stream, the more transparent people will have to become. And you know, I say I'm getting into trouble for it. People don't like me doing it, but that's because they don't like the truth being told. As I say, I don't go after something just to make mischief. I can't stand injustice, and there's too much injustice going on, and I can use my live stream to make that fairer. I find that the big boys are squashing the little people, and that's what I won't have. You know, as I say, I will check my facts and I will make sure it's okay before I do it, but I'm not going to be shut up by people trying to name and shame me because they don't like what I'm saying, basically. But you know, when you get an ex-councillor confirming something that I'd believed for a long time, you know, about the injustices of some of the things that went on with Visit Isle of Wight, I will say it, you know, you know, and no matter how much somebody is trying to shut me up, I won't do it. Yeah, absolutely, Carl. I think perhaps you and I should get together and do another one, another live stream together, and just put more power. And of course, the power comes not just in doing the live stream, Carl, but it's in building up the viewers. So anybody on here who watches me, you know, keep an eye on Carl's live streams. And I think you live stream under your councillor page, don't you? Carl, drop your link into your page, or you know, I think you come under Councillor Carl Love, don't you? So drop that in there, because let's get more viewers to your page, because Carl is becoming a great live streamer, and talking about the floating bridge, which is an absolute disgrace to the island, and how we can have a floating bridge that breaks down more times than it's actually in service, I believe. Maybe I'm wrong there, but when I see, the floating bridge has gone out of service again, actually it's becoming news if they say actually the floating bridge is working today. Fortunately, I don't have to use the floating bridge. It's not part of what I do every day, but I do feel that it really does need highlighting and talking about. And Carl Love is a councillor, and that's his part of the world over in East Cow. Is it East? Yes, East to West Cowes, isn't it? That's right. So yes, so Carl, if you want to drop your link in there, if you don't actually, I don't know whether you can, but let's see if I can drop that link in, because then we can. Yes, Tegan, they had trouble with the hovercraft. They've had trouble with all the ferries. No, that's right, totally, Carl. We don't do it to shock. We do it to improve. We do it to stop people hiding behind. You know, they want no problem. And actually, one of the worst things for them is live stream. So we need to get out there and we need to tell people it's. And you know, I've even had an issue with the editor of the County Press recently, and I actually. He was actually quite rude to me, and I wrote to him and he hasn't replied, and actually that's not okay either. I don't mind having a difference of opinion with somebody, and we can all agree to disagree, but it's not okay for them to be rude. I've had a difference of agreement with somebody from the Chamber of Commerce recently. They are trying to put me down because I will tell things like I see them, and it's not okay to be rude. It's okay to disagree with me. I'm happy to agree to disagree with people. It's not okay to try and shut me up. I don't know whether they're doing it because I'm a woman and they don't like women talking out or whatever it is, but it's not okay to be rude. And that I won't have. And, when people bully other people, like that was a bullying issue, I will call it out. And I don't care because, I am totally independent in what I do. I'm not connected to any organisation on the island, and I can't stand injustice. Hi, Melanie. And so really that's where I come from, a place of speaking up for the little people. And by little people, I don't mean that in any disrespectful way. I mean it by the people who are fighting but don't have any power over the big people. And as I say, there have been lots of injustices gone on, various things recently. I'm very much better, Melanie. The pain's all gone from the leg, and let's say I'm fighting fit, but I don't really want to home in on the fighting bit. But if I have to fight my corner for lots of the little people, then I will do that. And we seem to have hit on something, that makes people actually stop and look. Yeah, absolutely, Carl. Yeah, well, this is Carl. I think you and I need to really get together on this one, because I do think they need to speak out and really tell us. Fortunately, I missed being on the hovers and the ferries that were difficult ones. I managed to have got across the water without all those issues. I do remember though being on the hover one day when it was really windy and it was really having a struggle to actually land on the apron at Ryde. Yes, I mean, I'm just wondering what's going on when we have all these issues with our transport. So it's no good. It isn't any good hiding. People have got to come out and they've got to be transparent, because it's not okay not to be. So I'm glad that you've joined me on the live stream, Carl. That's it. I'm just having a look. Sorry, at the comments. I'll tell you what I think, Tegan. I'm very much on Carl Feeney's page now. I was very much, and I don't mind saying this, I was very anti a fixed link originally, because I did think it would change the nature of the island. But the more and more that we have had the disgrace of ferries breaking down, of the hover, having problems, of the floating bridge. No, I think it's very important that we have this feasibility study done. And while I've been away, of course, I've been watching all the comments. That's one thing I do. I keep up with my social media. Hi, Sandy. And I've been watching, that our cool. You'd watch a broadcast from you and Carl. Think that would make an excellent live stream. There we are, Carl. We're on. We'll have to message each other and see what we can do, because I really think we do need to keep highlighting this. But my stance now is that I am for a fixed link. I wasn't. I spent a lot of time, actually. I spent quite a long time with Carl, not that long ago, and he talked me through his all his vision for a fixed link. And at Hi Beata, I changed my mind. Those of us who are reliant on things on medicine and medical things getting across the water is becoming such a total joke that lives are coming at stake. It's not okay. We have 140,000 people living here who are now being held to ransom by because they can't get off the island to get to the medical help. I mean, fortunately, when I had my poorly leg recently, St Mary's were able to deal with it. I didn't have to go off island. But those sort of things are the things that have actually made me think, hey, we do need to look at the fixed link. And so I was very anti it, and now I'm very for it. And now I'm just wondering why Bob Seeley is not taking up the case. Bob Seeley being our MP, not taking up the case. Of course, I'm reading the fact that he's connected to people in the ferry company. I want total transparency on this. I want to actually do a live stream with him. I have reached out to him because I noticed that he was doing live streaming but getting hardly any viewers. So I have reached out to him to tell him how he could get more. I haven't had a reply. I don't know how long I'll have to wait for a reply. Yeah, absolutely. So it is important. Sorry, and I'm on my hobby horse a bit now. But I think we need to work together. It's no good the sort of the big boys all supporting each other because financially they all help each other, whatever. I'm probably going to get myself into hot water for what I'm saying now. But they need to come out and he's playing it safe. Okay, Carl. Well, playing it safe by not answering me, that won't work, because I won't take nobody answering me. I would just keep coming back and just having conversations until I do get something. I reached out to try and give him help. That wasn't helpful, was it? Was it, Melanie? That's the thing. If the lift was broken and you're not allowed on the ferry, that's discrimination. They're discriminating against you. Yeah, we do. But we need to work together. Right. Okay. Well, Carl, I will then become, such a total nuisance that I will go after a reply. I mean, one of the local councillors and county councillors said to me, "Oh, Bob's bothered because he's not getting viewers to his live stream." Well, the point is, I know about live stream and I know how to help him. And so he really, if he wants help on that one, he ought to talk to me. But, I have actually, I have been in a position where I could help a lot of island businesses where there was a potential contract for me to do a lot of things. And not now, please don't get me wrong, I don't do things for payment usually. I do a lot, but there was a potential for me to have a paid contract, and some of the big boys have stopped that. The thing is, I'm going to help the island whether I get paid for it or not, because I'm passionate about the island. But I'm just putting it out there that there was a contract that I could potentially have, and the big boys have stopped it. That they might stop me getting paid, but they're not going to silence me, because where there's injustice, I will keep pointing it out, and I will keep going for transparency, because that's what we need. People have got to be transparent. People don't like me. Some people don't like me popping up and actually telling the truth. I did a live stream. Yeah, that's it, Carl. Totally. That is so. You and I are singing from the same hymn sheet, Carl. Totally, it's what I want. We have a wonderful island, and to sell, and we can. That's right, I've got a lot of you now behind me, so I know that I've got power in that. I've got support. I know that I'm ruffling lots of feathers, but Carl, you and we're going to continue to if I know anything about us, we're going to continue to ruffle feathers. The one thing I won't do that you've done, I won't become a counsellor. Well, I tell you what, Carl, what's happened, because obviously when I live stream and I do my bits and pieces, I do need to replace equipment, and I need to keep upskilling and buying new stuff and improving what I do, so that it's an improvement for all of us, not just for me. My son has put me set me up a Patreon page, and I don't know if you know anything about Patreon. but it's a bit like GoFundMe, and we have, I'm going to put, I wasn't going to do an advert tonight, but I will do a quick advert. So basically people can support me. Let's just see. They can support me because what he's done, whoops, ooh, he set me this page up from Patreon, and I have already had some people who have supported me. We've got it. It's a funding page, and people can do it from as low as $1 a month, which is less than £1. And we do. Right, Carl, we need to, if you're available this week, let's message me. No, that's right. Totally, Melanie. There's no way I'm throwing the line. There's no way I'm going to be a counsellor, because I don't want my wings clipped. I don't want to be told in any way what I can do. And I think this is the thing. They can't, I've called out some of the discrepancies of Visit Isle of Wight for the last 2 years. And, I was pointing out how they could, I was trying to help them on how they could improve the visibility of the island. After all, it's what I do. And I've seen so many things that have, not been okay on that one. But of course, somebody is now trying to name and shame me because they don't like the fact that I'm calling out the discrepancies. But actually, where there are discrepancies, I'm not going to cover them up. Right, so wait a minute. So I'm going to pop on my Patreon page link here, because if anybody wants to support me in what I'm doing, it's just a way of helping me keeping the broadcasts going. As I say, I had to buy a new microphone, this little mic that that I wear when I'm doing my broadcast, that cuts a lot of the outside noise out. That was £42. I'm a pensioner, and that takes a big chunk out of my pension. But people who are willing to support me, whether some people obviously can't, and that's fine. That's not a problem. What you can do is you can share the link that I've just put there. But if anybody is able, and some of you have already done that, I've already got 4 Patreons patrons who have supported me, and you can go on there and you can have a look, and you can support from $1 a month. We've got different things there. It can be $1 a month, $5, $10, $25, and it tells you on there what that's about. Now, last week I went out and did a live stream with somebody in a car, so I was able to pay her diesel money so that I could go out and do more live streaming of our beautiful island in places I couldn't get to on the bus. And so these are some of the things. So before I went away, those first 4 patrons had paid to support me. So straight away I used some of that money, and lovely Jacqueline Clark took me off, and we went off and we did more live streaming on the island. So these are the sort of things that I want to do. And again, also replace equipment. This is my battery pack that keeps me powered up when I'm out and about, because the battery on the phone runs down very fast. All these things need to get replaced. So whereas people stopped me getting that contract, there is another way to skin a cat. There's always more than one way to skin a cat, or whatever you say, whatever expression you like to use. So we will, I will, while there's breath in my body to keep going, I intend to do that, because, as I say, my dad taught me to speak up against the injustices of the world. As I say, he would be very proud. And that fact that he called me megaphone mouth, it must have been a look into the future. And now I'm using the live stream as my megaphone. And we have a beautiful island. A lot of you, that's all right. So we do have a beautiful island, and we need to shout about the good things, and we need to put right the wrong things. And yes, we will continue to ruffle feathers, Carl, but I'm actually not frightened of rustling feathers. As long as we, stick to the truth and, tell it how it is, then, I'm going to do it. I won't have people being rude to me. I will call them out. I will name and shame. I was very worried about whether I named and shamed people recently, because I've always been brought up not to do that. But actually, what's the best way of stopping a bully? The best way seems to be name and shame. And when somebody told me to give it a rest the other day on Twitter, and they were Or not sure, Louise, about that. Not over keen on making gloves. You know, not my best. That's not my best forte. But anyway, let's have a talk about it. Yes, so forgotten what I was saying. I was saying about, you know, the injustices won't have it. I'm not going to be silenced, you know, by somebody just bullying me and saying, hey, give it a rest, don't talk on Twitter. So what I did, I Googled the guy who was having a go at me. And actually, basically, I did a video tweet. So that's actually talking on video to him on Twitter. You know, they hide behind they're keyboard warriors. They hide behind their keyboards and they think that you can't get at them. And actually, if somebody's rude to me, then actually I've spent 30 years stopping children bullying each other. There's no way I'm going to have adults bullying me. And, you know, and I've said before, I left my church because somebody tried to bully me. I left the Hungry and Homeless product because somebody tried to bully me. I left Rotary because somebody tried to bully me. And when I went, I took my skills. I took my skills with me. I was doing the social media for all those organisations. But actually, I don't mind giving my time for free if it's appreciated. But when people start to bully me, that's not okay. And I will call that out every time. And that's what I did to this person. And suddenly he's gone very, very quiet. And actually somebody who should know better, because according to his profile, he lives in the social media world. So actually bullying in the social media world is not okay. Hi Melanie. Yes, I must get off my hobby horse, you know, but when Carl popped on here and we were talking about the live stream and the power of live stream, I just couldn't help myself. You know, it's something, as you know, I feel so passionate about. And also promoting the island is something I feel so passionate about, which is probably why I got shortlisted for the Local Heroes Award. Mind you, I probably won't win it because it doesn't matter. I mean, it's lovely to be shortlisted, but because I'm outspoken, probably that will upset somebody. No, that's right. But also, Carl, I must teach you the power of the. I don't know if you know the power of the live tweet. Are you on Twitter, Carl? I'm not. I can't remember whether I've seen you on Twitter or not. But Twitter is so powerful, and of course, getting in the face and actually making a live, doing a tweet to them that's you talking rather than you writing, that is extremely powerful. It's extremely powerful in shutting them up, but it's extremely powerful in putting messages, good messages out that people really respond to, because you're not a faceless person. You know, if you're using video tweet, it's amazing what good responses it can have. The alarm there. So anyway, you know, I think I need to get off my high horse now. But Carl, we do need to do much more live streaming. Oh yes, Melanie, I'm pretty much an expert on most social media. I keep up with it a lot, you know, and the thing is people say, oh, you know, you're too old to be doing these things. You're never too old. You know, I might be 68, but I'm learning new things all the time. I'm upskilling all the time. Part of what I want the Patreon money to is to do even more upskilling, you know, perhaps follow more courses and learn more, because together, you know, we can become so powerful. Yes. So on Twitter, you can do that. You can do a response. So if you're on Twitter and you're going to write a response, if you look as you you do need to actually embrace it, Carl, because it is so powerful. It'll be another tool in your arsenal. So if you want to know how to do that, I can help you, because it's very quick. It can be very quick. I know that you're on Facebook, but it would give you another tool in your arsenal. That's right. I'm on Snapchat as well. I think I was showing you, wasn't I? Look, I'm taking these to my son later. Periscope. I started on Periscope, Melanie, years ago. But I haven't done much Snapchatting lately, but these are Snapchat glasses I won. So when I see my son later this week, I'm going to get him to give me a lesson rather than try and work it out myself. I'll get him to give me a lesson later in the week with my Snapchat glasses. You run off your feet. Oh, right. Okay. But the thing is with Twitter, it's so quick and it's so powerful, and you can make lists of people that you want to follow. The thing about Twitter is that, you know, it could run away with all your time, but there are tools, and there are ways of tweeting that are very powerful, and Twitter lists are a fantastic way of putting all the people you want to follow in a list, and filtering out everybody else. So, you know, I have Twitter lists of all sorts of different people, have Twitter lists of island businesses and all those sort of things. And if I want to see what they say, I filter out the rest and I look at it. And that's it. So I do find it a very powerful thing. And also, Carl, of course, you know, social media, they say it runs away with your time, but what you need to know is a lot of the tools that make it far more productive. You know, when you know more about the tools, and you can use the right tools, it does make it much more effective. It's one of the things my son teaches. You know, he teaches productivity and all that, you know, and all those sort of hacks that actually give you the best way of using it, because we all only have 24 hours in our day, but some of us use them far more productively, and it's knowing all the tips and tricks and the tools, so that you can put those in your arsenal and have the best tools available, and making your social media work even more. This is what frustrates me so much, Carl, about the island and people who are not, you know, Chamber of Commerce don't want me live streaming, and they were rude to me, which is not okay. That's when Tom Stroud was rude to me, and Alan Marriott of the County Press were rude to me. They don't have to use live stream, but they don't have to be rude to me either. And actually, having a listen to me might make them think a little bit more about going forward, because they're like years behind at the moment, and then they don't see the need for moving forward. But okay, night, Melanie. We'll speak tomorrow. Yes, so that was about, you know, being rude is not okay. No, they shouldn't. And as I pointed out, Melanie, to both of those guys, being rude is not okay. Being a oh dear, no, I don't want you to get divorced, Carl. That's not okay either. But it's not okay to be rude to people. And I pointed that out, and I said to both of them, I'm happy to agree to disagree, but it's not okay to be rude to me. And that is not something I will accept. And, you know, Alan Marriott hasn't returned my email. So tomorrow I will be emailing him again saying, oh, I noticed that you opened my email on Thursday, a week ago last Thursday at 10:38 in the morning. Perhaps it's time to give me a reply now. Because, of course, I track my emails as well, so I know exactly what time he opened the email. So he can't say he didn't open it because it's been opened, you know. These are the things, Carl, that all these tips and tricks that I need to teach you. You know, so you'll have all those more tips and arsenal. Anyway, Carl, I don't want you to get divorced, so I think perhaps I need to finish the broadcast. But you and I perhaps need to meet up, and we need to, you know, make a plan and have a strategy about where we're going with this live stream, because let's use it to even more great advantage for the people of the island, because of course you and I singing from the same hymn sheet, that's what we want to do. Make our island great again, and you know, sort of iron out all these discrepancies. So thanks for watching, Carl, and thanks for being an adopter on live stream. You know, thanks for embracing that, because you know there's not many people who are doing that. Anyway, lots of people tired now. It is 11:30. You know, from being sleeping at 10 o'clock and then waking up and suddenly getting on a live stream, it really is time I went. Otherwise, you know, I'll be responsible for too many people having a late night, and I don't want to be in trouble there. I'm going to love you and leave you all, and I will be back live streaming tomorrow night. I'm at a function, so I'll be live streaming from the function, probably. Watch out for that one. You know, let's keep on sharing all the good news and trying to iron out all the bad stuff. Love you lots. Bye for now.